Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to all of you, especially to our speakers, right? Dr. Associate Professor Dr. Anazida and also Associate Professor Dr. Masitah. Okay, all right, for starting, I think we start with Surah Al-Fatihah. Al-Fatihah. Right. Okay. So first of all, I'd like to thanks to all participants and also to our speakers today, invited speakers today, right? So I just want to check, could you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so okay, for your informations for today's sessions, okay. Okay, actually this one is a sharing session 2 and the title of this sharing session is Am I Ready to Apply for Associate Professor? Guides for Successful Applications, right? So for this sharing sessions, we hope that Dr. Anazida and also Dr. Masitah can share what we have to do before and after, before we apply for Associate Professor, and then in the middles of applying for associate professor, and then after that, what we have to do. Okay, so we hope that based on this sharing session, we hope all the participants can gain the knowledge and also can prepare for this applications to apply for associate professor, right? I think without further ado, I would like to maybe Dr. Anazida to introduce yourself for a while, and then Dr. Masitah. Is it okay?
Yep, sure.
Okay, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rin. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. When I see the faces of the audience, I think I know everyone. So I'm supposed everyone knows, me too, and also Dr. Masitah too. So basically, I'm from Department of Computer Science. Have been with UTM more than 20 years. I think almost 25 now. 24, 25, okay. And I'm currently the head of Information Assurance and Security Research Group. Okay. Apart from that, I think that's all about me. A mother of 5, that's all.
Okay, powerful woman. Okay, Dr. Shita.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rin, for the invitation and
Okay.
organizing this event actually. Myself and Dr. Anna, we had a quick chat just now before we entered this WebEx. Both of us, we are excited to share our experience because we really want to see many more, staff from School of Computing to get promoted. So inshallah, we will try our best. So my background briefly, I've been with UTM since late 2008. So not as long as Dr. Anna. Okay, of course due to age gap as well. But yeah, I'm now with we belong to ViCubeLab Research Group. At the moment, I'm with UTM Digital, previously known as the ICT as IT Research Associate Fellow. I'm not sure whether I got that name right, but yeah, fellow there at UTM Digital, basically helping out with making sure the system, usable enough for the use of the UTM citizen. I think I should also share when I got my associate professor. I think it was quite recent, end of 2019. I think with Dr. Anna, more recent, right, Dr. Anna? Yeah.
Exactly. Mine was during MCO.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, so very
Challenging time.
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So I think that's a brief introduction by myself. Thank you very much, Dr. Din.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. So okay. Maybe uh Dr. Anna can start with
Shall we?
this
Okay.
break.
So I will start by sharing my screen.
Okay.
Okay, I will share
Okay.
the
Perhaps.
presentation.
Yeah, because our presentation is supposed to be very informal, and we are going
Yes,
to
that's
share,
right.
I mean,
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
the same slide, and both of us will talk from our own,
Yes,
from our
Yes, that's
perspective.
right. That's right. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Anna.
Okay.
do that. Okay. Right. So let me just hide this, present. Oops. Okay. So Dr. Anna, we are ready, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, nice. All right. So we just had a very brief introduction about myself and Dr. Anna. So I think we can skip this. But yeah, I just would like to add that it's nice to know that our audience basically coming from school. So we really hope that by the end of our sharing today, you guys will get motivated to apply, okay, for associate professor. So let's begin. Okay, so the overview for today's sharing is we will start with motivation because you know, to apply for a promotion, we need you know, some kind of boost, a huge push actually, because the process is not easy. Okay, so we will find out. I'll prepare some little activity to get to know what are the motivations. We just would like to learn from you guys as well, and then we can also share based on our motivation. What actually motivated us to apply, and then we will look into the preparation because I think this is the huge request by Dr. Rain when they ask of us in terms of the sharing, what need to be done, you know, that kind of stuff. And then we will also share in terms of, you know, right after you submit the button, right, what you need to do. Okay, so and then we will end our sharing with you know, towards the end of the promotion application is the interview session. So we will also be talking about that as well. Yeah. Okay. So as I mentioned, let's do a very simple activity. Okay. We would like to learn about your motivation and then we can reflect on that. Please go to open up your browser, go to menti.com and use the code 9881 1584, or if you like, you can just simply scan using your mobile phone. Okay. Hang on. Let me just I need to stop sharing for a while. How can I do this? I forgot already because I need to open up my browser. Okay, give me 1 second. I will stop sharing because I need to open up my browser where it has the answers to this. Okay, give me 1 second, yeah. Okay, I need 2 screens for this. Okay, I'm back on present. Okay, so are you here already? Okay, still no.
The password, please.
Oh, the password is 8998881 1584. Yay. Okay, so I will share my screen here, the answers that I'm seeing right now.
Okay. Dr. Shita, can you
Yeah.
share at our chat?
Oh, okay, sure.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do that. Hang on.
Okay.
I forgot, guys. We haven't teach for a while, right? So
It's okay.
lost. where to go from here. Okay, so chat.
And then share the link.
Sure. Okay, let me do this quickly. Bear with me. Just few seconds. Okay, it's there. You can simply click on the link. Okay, and then you will be taking to you'll be taking to here. So what are your biggest motivations to apply for AP? Helping others. Okay, reputation, salary. Yeah, that very good motivation actually. Advancement, satisfaction. Okay, what else? How many do we have as our audience today? Any more coming? Whoops, I need to reduce my CPU and turn off virtual background. Guys, fine. Don't mind. Just that.
We have 18, so far we have 18 participants. Around
So,
18. Yes.
right, so 18 times 3, 24, 54. I'm expecting 54 answers because one should enter maximum 3 answers. But it's okay. We will see how it goes on the screen right now. So most of among you guys, you share is about satisfaction, advancement. Okay, there are 2 entries on advancement. Maybe we can wait for another 30 minutes and see any more input from the audience. Sharing. Okay. All right. Any more coming? Maybe we can take it from here. Dr. Anna, anything that similar as yours when you in the motivation that when you apply for your AP?
No. It is quite interesting to see, the motivations from others, because my motivation is very different from what is being displayed here.
Yeah, maybe Dr. Anna, you can share and then we can reflect based on the
Okay. That's why because when I see the participants list, I think we are local, meaning we belongs to the same school. Perhaps when you see me and you see Dr. Masitah, we are representing 2 different generations. We are about almost 15 years apart in terms of age. Okay, so sometimes people ask me, why did you apply for PM or Professor Madya or AP shape quite late? Okay, because to tell you the truth, I didn't have any motivation. Okay, in fact, I never dreamed to be an AP before. Okay, why? Because when I see professor, I see associate professor, I think they are very critical people, and they have to they have huge responsibilities. So I'm asking myself, am I worth to be AP? Because I'm not as critical as them, okay? And I don't think I can carry their responsibilities. So basically, I didn't have any motivation at all. So I thought I would retire with a senior lecturer. But there was a point when I knew that Professor Azaini was going to leave our research group, and he was asking me that I have to somehow I have to take his place, okay, taking care of the lab, taking care of the RG, and so many things. And he said that by being AP or associate professor, I can do more than what what I could do at that time. Okay, and for 2 years he had been constantly asking me to apply to to take care of the lab, to take care of the RG, blah blah blah. And then that was my motivation, basically to protect my lab not my lab, our lab, and also our RG. Okay, that was why I applied for associate professor. So mine
Yeah.
is very different perspective. sorry
Yeah,
about that.
but although the motivation is very different, right, Dr. Anna, but it was the biggest push, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And also
So
you have to put a lot of effort too, like what we are going to cover today.
yes, yeah, but looking at the words that we are seeing right now on the screen, I think most of our staff at School of Computing, they are ready. I think in terms of they know the reason why or what motivate them to apply is to climb up the career ladder. Because I think that's the normal um, way of you know, us being a lecturer as an academician. We need to know where we should go next, right? So I think some of the words here are agreeing on that, you know, with the advancement, academic ranking, and of course, as being as an academician, we are not working locally in terms of, you know, in our own cocoon, okay, in our own bubble, no. So recognition is also one of the key that can motivate us as well, because I think later on in our next slide, it very much related to our intention as well. Okay, why we want to go for associate professor? I'm sure you know in our mind we tend to be you know, telling ourselves negatively by saying, you don't have to apply because, you know, the KPI later on will be much bigger, you know, the quantity is just like adding up. But I think, yeah, I think we should move on to the next slide where we can elaborate more on this. So thank you very much once again for the audience for sharing your motivations. It's pretty much relatable, at least to me, when I applied for associate professor. So let's continue from here. So where are we? So dilemma. I need to find my red present. Okay, present button. Okay. So yeah, so maybe we can look into this further, Dr. Anna. Like yourself, the first thing that you question yourself was, am I really worth? Right?
Exactly. That was the first question. Because the way, like I said before, the way I look at people, I look up at them, you know. Uh, we have many professors here, we have many associate professors here. I think they are very critical people, and I keep comparing, am I at par with them? Okay, so I always, because as I told you, we are two different generations. Perhaps my generation, I'm very, you know, I'm very satisfied with what I'm doing. That's all, you know. But at one time, I think it is a responsibility for us to climb a ladder. Okay, why? Because everybody has your own expertise, right? And then because you know that in UTM, in order to be an examiner, okay, you have to be a professor or associate professor. And at times, because I had been the assistant chairperson for the Viva for almost 10 years. Okay, so in fact, the previous dean, Prof. Abdul Samad, he was asking me to write a book on, you know, how to handle the Viva session, because I spent 10 years being the assistant chairperson in the Viva. So I know what questions normally the examiners ask. Okay, I know the weaknesses of the students when they presented their Viva and so on, because 10 years of the 10 years experience being the assistant chairperson. But at times there were cases whereby the student did, you know, the study in the domain which is your domain, exactly the same, almost similar to your study, and you, because you, as an assistant chairperson, you cannot ask question, right? And that domain, because you keep track of what's happening in the domain, you think you have a questions that can, you know, I'm not saying that it is better than examiner, but then the questions which is very related. But because of the constraint that we put, okay, as an examiner, you have to be a professor or associate professor. So sometimes the choice okay, the examiners that were selected or were picked are not really in the area. Okay, that is when I think everyone, okay, I believe that everyone must apply for AP, because I believe that you are good in your area, right? You are in fact not even best in your area. So that is a responsibility. Okay, you have to think that this is a responsibility to the organizations or to the ummah, perhaps, right? So that is the thing, you know, that you should think of. Don't just think that you are, you know, not worth of being an examiner, or all those negative thoughts, because everyone has his or her own specialty or expertise. Okay.
I totally agree with Dana, because you know, some people see applying for associate professor is like, especially I'm not saying that I'm young, but when you are younger than the rest, you will be seen like, oh, that person is very competitive, you know, not patient enough to climb the ladder, etc. But I think deep down we need to check our intention really, because I totally agree with Dana, because once you are promoted to assistant professor, basically you can do so much more. You will be you can be invited, okay, to share what you know with other institutions, communities. You can be part of students academic progress, you know. So I think it goes back to our intention as well, because I think as a Muslim, it starts with intention, right? So hopefully when we have, or when we start the journey with the right intention, inshallah the process will be, it's not going to be, I'm not guaranteeing that it will be smooth sailing kind of process, no, but hopefully we have more motivation along the way. Okay, so I think that lead to the fourth point there, amanah and barakah, isn't it, Otana?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because
Okay.
for every cent that we earn, okay, for every extra cent that we earn, for example, now we are senior lecturer, we are moving towards associate professor. That means, it also means that an increase in salary. So every cent that we gain, actually that is an amanah, more responsibility to it. So this is among the things that really hold me back last time, you know, because like I said before, I have 5 kids. Am I going to have extra time to do extra work? Okay. That's why in my case, I waited until all my kids are grown up, you know, so I can have less time with them. It depends, you know. Some
Yeah.
people would, yeah, it's really something, it's up to you. But some people, they can divide the time, manage the time well, which I really salute. But I'm not that type, so I'm very slow in working and slow in almost everything.
No.
But once you apply, you must get yourself ready, okay? Because the possibility to be, you know, accepted, your application to be accepted is quite high, especially because when all the criteria are met, okay? Because we have like a long list of criteria that we will cover later. Okay, so because in fact the system will give you like green light. We call it green light because all the criteria has been fulfilled. So once you press the button, you have to get yourself ready for the extra responsibility. Okay,
Yeah.
because again, for like I said, every cent that we gain, there is a responsibility to it. And also, if for example, though we gain extra money, but we reluctant to do this responsibility, that's where the barakah will come in. Okay, you don't want to be very rich, but something bad happen, you know, somewhere, perhaps to your kids or whatever, right? So that's why barakah is very important. So once you are ready, okay, go for it. Okay, go for the AP.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I think the key word that we would like to emphasize is basically we need to know what we are committing ourselves into.
Exactly.
Right? So once we you know, get promoted, we have to know and aware the fact that now our list of KPIs are totally different from before. We need to work harder actually. But I think just bear in mind that what we are doing is, if we are doing it with the right intention, if we are doing it, you know, for the sake of knowledge sharing, for the betterment of our humanity, I think we just need to stay positive and focused. Okay, so I think we can move on to the next slide, where this is the nitty-gritty part. Yeah, this is, I think, what you guys are waiting for. Right. So preparation. Okay, so this would be the huge part, okay, of the journey. We both agree, myself and Dr. Anna agreed that there are, when we were in the process of preparation last time, they can be divided into two. Okay, they were obvious category and the not so obvious. Okay, things that the office or the admin didn't really tell us. Okay, so we will first begin with the obvious. Okay, so the obvious is we must first be informed of the latest criteria set by the UTM human resource department. So let me just, how can I end this? Stop presenting. Okay, I will try to look for my browser. I will open up. Oh, okay, never mind. It's in the next slide. Okay. Anyhow, yeah, so I will begin with that. And then there are 6 lists on the not so obvious, which is we must be familiar with the system, latihan ikhtisas, the CV, declaration of properties, teaching, portfolio, and personal statement. So we will go one by one. So we will begin with the most obvious, what you call it? Let me just carry this through to my next screen, just in case it will get locked. Okay. So the obvious preparation is, first thing is you must get hold of this criteria list. If I'm not mistaken, I think the last round of calling for promotion, I think your research group leader disseminated this kind of criteria to encourage the research group members to apply for promotion. So with regard to associate professorship, this is the grade, this is the criteria. So you need to go through every single list, okay? To check against its criteria, you can just simply do, self-check roughly and quickly, actually, whether you have fulfilled all of these criteria, okay? And then you must also notice that there are some portion of the criteria that you will wonder whether you need to fulfill every single one, or is it an or condition. And then there are some portion of the criteria like supervision. There are actually some conditions of equivalence that can be applied. So those are the things, the small print that need to be learned or find out from the office. So my best advice is to approach either your RG leader or the PP. PP is penolong pendaftar, or in English is assistant registrar. Yeah, your seniors, okay, in your department, or associate chairs at school, or even chair himself or herself. Okay, I think I would just share. In my case last time, I had it requires 1 PhD, right? One graduate PhD and two
masters.
master by research. But in my case, when I applied, I already had 2 PhD students and 1 master by research. So when I first tried to apply, it was a big no because they were telling that, oh, I didn't fulfill 1 PhD and 2 masters. But then they checked back the small print. It says that 2 one PhD graduated is equivalent to 2 masters by research. So basically, I fulfill the criteria, even though it was not exactly as what we are seeing in the table. But there are some conditions where it allow us to go ahead with the application. Okay. So I think that's important to know your situation and check whether there are ways for you to still proceed with the application. Yeah. I think one more is at the bottom here. Perundingan jaringan industri. So this is industrial networking consultation. If I'm not mistaken, you don't have to fulfill every single one. But need to check back with the office. Dr. Anna, do you have any input on this?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, at least one MOU is a must.
Yeah, at least one, right? From
Yes.
this column, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, at least one. Oh, okay.
Okay, Dr. Chita. I have a question regarding the MOU. So we should be as a main applicants, or we can be as a networking something like networking. Is it networking? Something like what is it? What is the term?
You mean
Member.
member?
Members, yes. Yes, members. As a members of the MOU. Is it okay or not okay?
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
As
okay,
long
right?
as you are part of the
Okay.
MOU.
And
Yeah.
then
So make sure that if there is any MOU that you involve, make
uh-huh.
sure that the leader attach a list of the members.
Yeah,
Oh,
you must make sure that your
To
name is
the
there.
MOU. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
And then in terms of the weightage or 50% here, so meaning that we don't have to achieve all, or how?
Yeah, that was what was referring just now. So
Mhm.
basically to get the 50% perundingan jaringan industri or the industrial networking consultation, I think just based on whether you fulfill one of it, right, Dr. Anna? You
Yeah, in my case last time,
one.
yeah, I think just one will do.
Yeah, just one. And then you'll be getting that 50% wajaran from this court.
Yeah.
Mm.
In fact, some RG leaders, when they conducted or they do a conference, okay, because there is money generated from the conference, you can register the conference as a perundingan or consultation because the money, income generation.
Yeah.
So if you are the member to that particular conference, we will be considered under the first criteria, which is project perundingan, ketua or ahli. So it's okay too. Okay, so make sure that as a leader, for example, Rin, myself, and few other RG leaders, make sure that we register the conference that we have, okay, into the system as a perundingan. So by that, inshallah, your member will get some credits from that particular conference.
Yeah.
Another questions. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Ana, and also Dr. Shita for the declarations. And then another things. If we want to register under project perundingan, so is there any other capping for the total amount of it?
Yeah, what's being shown here is the minimum, right, Dr. Anna? It can go
Oh, that
beyond.
one is minimum. Oh, okay.
That's the
But-
minimum.
Okay, it's
But
very
normally
tough.
from the two conference you can get 50,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
So
it
meaning
is
that
not the profit, it's the value of the
total
fees.
total from different.
Exactly.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so what we are seeing here is the minimum. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam, yes.
What about MOU with local institution? Is it counted?
Okay. Oh, I have no answer to that question.
Yeah.
Dr. Anna, do you know anything about that?
I cannot answer that because in my case it was an MOU with cybersecurity. But it's still agency, government agency. So I'm not sure. whether
Maybe
maybe it should be.
Dr. Rin can collect the questions that both of us aren't sure. Maybe we can collect them and pass it to the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do that, and then I will distribute in our WhatsApp group, for example. Is it okay?
I think that would be good because so in a way indirectly will help those who are applying to get better information from school.
Okay, okay. All right. I will do that.
Okay, sorry,
So
Dr. Zura. So we wait for Dr. Rin to get the answers to that.
Yeah, actually, I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's about a research book.
Research
Research book, but it's not
Okay.
mentioned anywhere in the table.
Yeah, I think it falls under buku, under book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's here.
Bab
It's
dalam
under
buku as well.
book or chapter in the book. Yep.
So, right, book or chapter in a book.
Yep.
Percent in karya asli and 1/3 of journal. What does it mean?
Okay.
And it's 30%.
So, okay.
Because this one for publication, it's
Later on,
it
in the slide, there is I will share the link later in the chat. Here I think they are describing it in more detail.
okay.
Yeah, in this document. So I will share the document with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll wait for that. Thank you.
Okay. No worries. How to move this back away? Yep. Okay, and I will now share it in our chat. So this is basically available from our registrar. So it's a book that we can always refer to from time to time. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the latest version. So everything is in there regarding the salary increment, stuff that you need to know. So yep.
But the reference, Dr. Shita, is not the current one. I'm not sure. This one is the first version, right? Is it the first version? I think 2018 or 2019. Yes, I think so.
It's 2020.
2020. Oh, okay. I will check it. Okay.
Okay. So the one that I shared is 2020.
Okay.
I don't know if there are newer version, but as far as I know, this is the latest. But of course, if you happen to get hold of the latest one, you might want to share in our school WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Okay. So there is a question there. If I can just look into the chat screen.
Okay.
I would like to know about the CP
Okay,
application. When we can submit, we need to check it first. Okay, I will go into that. Sorry, I didn't get your name. Nor Azila. Okay, I will get to that question. Okay, so we can move on, from the first. So basically, this is the first checklist. Okay, the most visible, the most tangible checklist that we can check against whether we can go or not go. Okay, so yeah, and I just would like to add, you can actually ask your PP, assistant registrar, because last time at my time when I applied, it was Puan Murni. Puan Murni actually shared with me an Excel sheet. The Excel sheet basically has this information, and it facilitated in terms of counting how far we are from that every single criteria. So I'm not too sure whether the office still has that kind of version, but you may want to ask further. Okay. All right. So let's proceed. Hang on, it's not moving. Okay, now the DCP. Okay, so now we come to the not so obvious number one. Okay, so now let's say we assume that the obvious first checkpoint we already now in the get-go, we are now starting our journey. So first thing first is we also have to check with the system. Okay, in UTM, there is a dedicated system for promotion application. So you need to check you go to your portal, myutm.my, under sumber manusia, or in English, human resource, you will be taken to this website. Okay. So from here, you need to click on DCP, permohonan kenaikan pangkat. So I'm not sure whether this website is dual language, whether it can be translated into English, but if it's not, you may refer to this slide. It says, or you can just simply look for DCP. Okay, so if I may do the live interaction from here, live demo. So you just go for you enter your portal, and then just simply click sumber manusia, and then of course you need to key in the SSO login, and they will take you here, okay, to your DCP. Well, not really here. This page, and then the DCP here, you click, and then you will arrive to your dashboard. So you must look for green button. Where is it? There. Okay. So you need to check whether this telah memenuhi syarat appeared on that dashboard. Okay. So telah memenuhi syarat means fulfill, okay, the criteria. Because to apply, we have to obtain at least 80% of each criteria that allocated in the system. I've tried to. Oh, I cannot reach my. That's weird. Oh, I think I need to re-log in. You may want to apply. You may want to try yourself. Okay, log into the portal. Okay, log into the portal like this. Okay, from the portal just now. Okay, you click on the sumber manusia, it will take you to the system UTM-HR, and simply click, okay, the DCP. Okay, I don't want to show mine, although I accidentally showed mine just now. But yeah, you can do that yourself. Okay, you may enter it now. Oh, I can't, the site cannot be reached. How? Can you guys access it? Or it must be on VPN. I don't know.
Maybe you have to use it using you have to use SSO to access to it, because it's a VPN.
Yeah. So yeah, you may try that yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I think there were 5 criteria. Dr. Anna, maybe you can check. There were 5: publication, khidmat masyarakat. What is it? Service.
Is
Something
there
like
in
that.
the list tak? Ada in the list tak dalam kriteria?
On the dashboard, yes. I forgot to screenshot, and now I cannot enter my DCP. Okay, oh, now I'm in. Okay, so basically, let me just, okay, I'll just share just for the sake of sharing. So basically, you will see something like this, yeah? Oops, it's not there yet. Okay, like this. Hey? Yeah, something like this. Oh no, this browser. Okay, you will see this for pengajaran, pendidikan, kepimpinan akademik, and amalan profesional. Okay, so it has to be above 80. Okay, so once you see this green light, that means you are good to go. Okay, do not wait. Yeah.
Dr. Shita and Dr. Anna, ada one question. There is a questions from Dr. Liza. Buat part-time LI boleh tak? Mana boleh kan?
Part-time LI boleh tak? Okay. Okay, we will get to that question. Sorry, we will get to that point later on, Dr. Liza. Okay.
Dr. Masitah,
Saya.
for transition track, application for DS54 must be made in the old system.
Thank you for the information, Dr. Zura.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think this is something that we need to bear in mind as well, because myself and Dr. Anna, we belong to the older generation. Okay, the old system. So we basically, the system that we both applied last time was not even this DCP. It was the old one, wasn't it, Dr. Anna?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the old
the
one.
yellow maroon, the yellow
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
maroon.
that one
Yellow
is
maroon
from,
system.
I think, Dr. Shita, that one is from HR Pin. Is it right? HR Pin.
Yeah, the old one.
HR Pin. Yes.
We used that one, but I think for now they upgraded to new system, and this is the new
CP.
system. Yep, the DCP. Okay, but I think what Dr. Zura shared just now is something that all of you need to bear in mind. If you are happen to be in the transitional category, then you have to go for different system, the old system, right? Yeah. So the old system is UTM
In
HR Fin, something like that. Somewhere in my slide later there is the URL, so I will share in the chat later. Okay. So yeah, so this is the first the not so obvious that you need to do. You must go through the system, okay, and check whether you have seen the green light or not. And then apart from that, there are some other additional stuff that you need to do. So we will go through this one by one. Yeah. So I will go along. If you happen to have questions, just simply unmute or share it in your chat, in the chat, sorry. Okay, number two, okay, this is the latihan ikhtisas, the industrial attachment that we need to go for a year. So myself and Dr. Anna, we both had different story, okay? Because Dr. Anna didn't go, but I did. I think because what the regulation was, if you never work in an industry and under 40 years old, um, by the year something something, okay, I cannot recall now. You have to go for industrial attachment. So in my case, I need to go. So the process is you can simply go to this website because it's very informative. Just simply click. Oh, sorry, too fast. Let me just stop my laser pointer. Can I share this? Oh, cannot because it's my in the mode of presenter. Okay, let me just quickly copy this and put it in the chat. So everything is here actually. Okay, at that time when I applied, I had to go for industrial placement. So I have to find a company. Okay, you need to sort yourself out. That's the bottom line. Okay, you won't be getting help or finding industry from UTM lead or from school. Really, it's pretty much on your own. But if school happen to know industries or companies who are accepting staff for training, then go for it. Okay. But the bottom line is that attachment for a year is under UTM lead. Okay, so you may check out their website because all the forms are in there. The process, what to do first, second, third, etc. is everything is there. Now, come to the situation where the question of, do I still have to go? Okay, can I get exempted? So I think I will pass this to Dr. Anna. Okay, Dr. Anna?
okay. Okay, so basically the criteria is most of us, I think they have to go for latihan ikhtisas or industrial training for 1 year. Okay, so this is one option. Another option is if you held an admin post for 2 terms, but with allowance. For example, the RG head, though it is admin post, but we don't have any allowance, so it is not counted. Okay, so it has to be allowance. So for 2 terms. So another option is that if you reach, like Dr. Masitah said, if your age reach 40 by I think 2010 or I think maybe by 2010, so you are exempted too. So in my case, I had working experience for 8 years. At the same time, I had also 2 terms being the admin with paid allowance, and I also have I mean, my age already reached 40 by 2010. So all the three criteria met. Okay, but I had difficulty too. What happened is that they still ask me for the evidence that I work in industry, even though when I enter UTM, when I join UTM, okay, I mean, they gave me like an increase of salary considering my working experience. So I had trouble with that, okay, during my application. So and then of course there is a series of argument as well because another two criteria I fulfill. But again, they insisted that I wrote a letter, okay, like asking permission or something like um, uh, asking permission or something. But to say that eventually I used the term that my age reached 40 before 2010. But even though it is stated in the regulation, I still have to write a letter, okay, applying to be exempted. Okay, that was the point where I was like, okay, that's it. I'm not going to apply anymore, and I stopped. Okay, because my experience, because like I said, my motivation wasn't that strong. Okay, so when you hit a hurdle, you tend not to proceed. Okay, but at that time, the dean was Dr. Abdul Samad. So he was really, I think he helped me a lot by drafting a letter to the UTM lead, okay, on my behalf. And then the assistant registrar came to me with the letter on. All she asked me to do is just to sign the letter. Okay, so they did on my behalf because I was like, that's it. Because I'm the type, this is bad. I mean, this is my bad because I'm the type that I will fight if I think it is right. Okay, and I will protest. Okay, that is me. So that's why I'm protesting. But again, like what Dr. Samad, Prof. Samad said, that I cannot go against the system. Okay, yeah, basically, because I said to him that I would like to wait even though 2 years, waiting to get them to do their work in my context. Do their work meaning because it is written in regulations, they should check the regulations when I apply, right? So again, Prof. Samad said that I will not win the case, okay, because I'm going against the system. Okay, so again, there are two options. Okay, whether you are working, okay, at least show evidence that you are working. Secondly, you held an admin post for 2 terms and make sure that that post is a paid post, not really paid post, paid allowance. Yeah, allowance. And another one is that if your age reach 40 by, I think, 2010, so those people will get exempted. Other than that, you have to go for industrial training for 1 year.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Anna, I just would like to add, basically on the website, if you go to the link that I given you just now, there are information on how to apply for exemption. So I think the information is here. I think at that in the time when Dr. Anna was applying, maybe the information was not visible or transparent or accessible at all. So and that just led to that kind of experience. So hopefully, okay, UTM lead has come up with this informative website. So if you happen to been working before you join UTM, just go through the information here, okay, because there are actually ways for you to get exempted. So this is the flow chart to get exempted from LI. So what need to be done? Okay. So yeah, it's not going to be easy because as Dr. Anna mentioned, even though you fulfill the criteria to be exempted, but you still need to provide the documentation, etc. So I know it's quite painful, but yeah, just be ready for it. Yeah. Okay, so you may find everything from here. So the link is already given to you in the chat window. Okay,
Dr. Shita,
saya.
another question from me
Sure, go ahead, Dr. Zura. We are sharing.
about the industrial training. Is there
Yeah.
any sort of like expiry date. I mean, I did my
You did,
industrial.
right? Yours?
I did my industrial training in 2015. That was 6 years ago.
Ah,
Is it
okay.
still
I don't think there
valid,
is.
or there's a expiry period or what, something like that?
I believe there is none so far, but this is from from what I know, there is no such thing as expiry date. But I don't know, Tana, do you have any latest information?
No, I don't know, but I think the best is you can inquire UTM lead. I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's been that long, yeah, Dr. Zura, because I think we did our
Yes.
LI about the same time last time.
Uh,
Okay, okay. But I don't think so because there were some applications where they had the working experience was way back. You can simply try to apply for exemption because they will have their own internal meeting to verify whether or not it is still applicable, that kind of stuff. So I think the best way is to approach UTM lead. Yeah, they definitely have the answer. Yeah. But don't wait too long, Dr. Zura.
The Tashita, as what I know, there is no some sort like there is no expired date
Ah,
for
yeah,
that industrial training. Yes, I think so. For sabbatical leave. I think there is no expired date.
mm.
I hope so, Dr. Zura.
okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Zura. Jangan tunggu lama-lama.
Surah tak ada lah, mohon je.
InsyaAllah, insyaAllah.
Allah. Okay. All right. So next is I hope that answers some of the questions given in the chat window just now by Dr. Riza. Next is we have it's not moving. Okay, CV. Okay. Yeah, CV is another big thing actually.
Dr. Shita, can
Yeah.
you make it as a
Please, okay.
present?
Yeah. Okay,
You
because
present it? Okay, thank you. All right.
I will come back to not sharing mode later on. Okay, so number 3 is CV. Okay, to apply, I think for UTM, very unique case because to apply our CV must be written or use the UTM template. Okay. The latest one, if you scroll through your inbox, it was dated on the 16th December 2020. Okay, they attach the latest version of the UTM CV format. Both myself and Dr. Anna, when we applied, the format was different. So I will share with you, I will show you, okay, I will show you hang on, how to exit this. How to exit from, okay, back to here, stop presenting. Okay, where is my word? I will show you, okay. If you are already using the old UTM template, okay, I'm sure you are familiar with this kind of format, right? So you have something like this, okay. So it can be very lengthy, right? But then with this email, okay, dated 16 December 2020, and now you happen to wanting to apply for promotion, the formatting is quite different. And I discussed this with Dr. Anna just now that it is a huge transition and this process actually takes time. Okay, so as I mentioned in the beginning that in order to apply for promotion it is in a way it's quite time consuming because these are the little things that you need to give your effort, give your time, to prepare the documentation that are required, okay, in the process of application. So if you don't have any if you are not tied to the old CV template, I think it will be easy for you. You can just simply fill out the information straight away. But if you happen to be like me and Dr. Anna, where we already built up our CV based on the last, format, to transfer everything from here to here, it's not easy. Okay, I'm still in the midst of updating my CV using the new one. But yeah, it is more detailed. Dr. Anna highlighted to me just now that for publication, now they even ask for, if I can just zoom in a bit, okay? Too much. Okay. Zoom out, just a bit. Okay, they even ask for ISSN number, okay, which I don't typically, in my CV at least, I don't put it in my CV, and not too much, okay, not too many. So yeah, it's more detailed with the new template. Okay, we need to key in every single information in the right cell. So you can imagine if you happen to have a CV like me, you need to pick and select that particular information and place it in that particular specific cell. Okay, so just a reminder of allocate time. Okay, allocate time so that you have prepare your CV according to the latest template. Okay, that asked by our school or by UTM really. Okay, so you may check back. I'm not sure because I think some of us at school, you are new um, joining the school, so you may not receive this email. But so I don't know what would be the best way to disseminate the template. Maybe you can write again to school HR and ask them to circulate it once again, or you can just WhatsApp either one of us for the template because we do have it. Okay, all right.
And also all the RG leaders, we are asked to disseminate to the members. So perhaps they can ask their RG.
Yeah, I think that's the best way, and that's more systematic, isn't it? Yeah, you can always ask your RG leader for the latest CV template. Okay. Yeah, it is time consuming, so you may want to start
Should start. Yeah, should start now.
now. Okay. Before the class begins. Okay. Come back to the full mode. Okay. Next is property declaration. Okay, this is another most important part of the process. I know it doesn't seem like related at all, right, with regard to our promotion application, but it is a requirement that we need to fulfill. For my case, this process came in a bit earlier because before I can go to latihan ikhtisas or industrial attachment, I need to declare my property and assets. But for Dr. Anna, it's a bit later for you, right? Dr. Anna?
Yeah, I did. In fact, after I fulfill all the criteria in the process, okay, when the office process it, I was asked to fill in this particular form.
Yeah, so it's a bit different. So if you happen to be in the category of not get exempted from the industrial attachment, you will see this first. Okay. I believe from my searching from my inbox, the property declaration or asset declaration still use the old system. Okay. So this is the URL that I would like to point based on Dr. Zura's comment just now. If you happen to be in the transitional category still and you want to apply for promotion, you need to use this link instead of from my portal UTM and then HR and then DCP. Okay, those are for the new ones, but those who are in the transitional category, you may want to use this link and you have to click on perjawatan. Okay, pejabat, and then you will see naikkan pangkat. Okay, so it's in the old system. Yeah, but for the property declaration still on the old system, so you have to use this URL. Okay. All right. No question on this, yeah? So I proceed.
Dr.
Yeah.
Shita,
Saya.
just to add some info
Sure.
on the property declaration. I think that most of lecturers, maybe excluding the new foreign lecturers, most of us have filled in, because if you did not fill in the property declaration, then there will be no increment in your salary.
Yes, that's right, Dr. Zura.
Yeah, you are totally right, Dr. Zura. I just would like to recall when I applied for my AP, the HR office was not as aggressive as now. I don't think that we fill up this form as frequent. But now, as of late, we receive, many reminders about this property declaration, because they keep reminding us that if we don't do this every 5 years, at least you won't get the increment, isn't it? So I think that's a good move from UTM actually. And in a way, it helps you, to apply for your promotion. So yeah. Okay, Dr. Ana, you want to add anything here?
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing, eh? Okay. So let's move on. Okay, number 5. Okay, the other not so obvious is the teaching portfolio. Okay. So if you can see from the left side of the screen, one of the things that they ask for us to upload as part of the promotion application is our teaching portfolio. So teaching portfolio is basically our statement of our teaching. Okay, they ask us to describe our teaching responsibilities, philosophy, strategies, all this, the criteria that you can see here on the screen. Okay, so basically I prepared this separately in a Word document. I think it's the same with Dr. Anna, right?
Yeah,
So you
prepare
prepared
separate
this.
document.
Yeah, so just to share that we both applied for quite some time now, so I'm not too sure with the current system, because I believe currently with UTM-TES, they actually have a portion or a section where they ask of similar criteria, where they ask us to fill up the personal philosophy, our belief and practices, self-reflection, and so on. So I just would like to say that I don't know whether this UTM test is already overtaking or replacing the teaching portfolio document. So this one, I don't know. Okay, so maybe we can ask our research leaders to find out further. Okay, Dr. Ana, any input?
No, because I was not told as well whether test will take over the teaching portfolio document. But I think maybe the best person to ask is apa tu nama? Fatihah. I think maybe Fatihah, the clerk downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, from
She,
school.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can ask Fatiha. But if you need to write one, yeah, this this would be the content that you want to write. Okay. As far as I can remember, I don't think the school actually provided us with the template of the teaching portfolio. What I did last time was I asked around, people who just had their promotion, and asking them for their samples of the teaching portfolio. From there, I drafted mine. So that was my experience. So I don't know about Dr. Ana.
Same thing. I
Same,
asked from
same.
Dr. Farahida as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the thing. We don't know how, but we sought help from those who just been promoted and us, and just
Exactly.
simply ask, can I see yours? How did you do it? So yeah, we learn from one another. So same goes here. If you may ask your RG leader first, but if you cannot get samples, we are more than happy to share. Yeah.
But of course, ours is not the best, but at least, yeah, but at least, yeah, we can share ours. Exactly.
Yeah, maybe we can share the skeleton of the document.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Okay.
Dr. Shita and Dr. Anna, so for this portfolio, there is a template or we can
That's the
just
thing.
create
We
it?
didn't have any template.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So meaning that we just create it. We just create it.
Yes.
Exactly,
Okay.
but at least the items, okay, in the table of content must be, those are the must items in the portfolio.
So until now, I don't know, maybe Dr. Rin, you can be an investigator and find out,
Okay.
the best template to use. Whether
Okay.
UTM actually has one, I don't know. But our experience, we don't had it. We didn't have it. That's why we asked around and we ended up with this kind of teaching portfolio structure.
Okay.
Dr.
Okay.
Sarina,
Yes, Dr. Zura.
I think you can propose to the school or to UTM
Huh?
lead, maybe propose to them to come up with a template of TS, just like the CV that they gave us, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
at least there's a, a general a skeleton or template, right?
yeah. That would be a
Instead
good
of,
move actually.
asking around, right? So maybe they can provide us like the CV template.
That's true because they want us to apply for promotion, but so I think it's kind of their responsibility to facilitate us further, isn't it? So
Yes, the support system.
yeah, the support system should be there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Sarina. So yeah, this is the fifth item for the not so obvious. So now you know, right? So in the process, there's so many things that you need to prepare. Okay. So let's proceed with the next one.
Okay. Dr. Shita, there is a question related to when we talk about e-portfolio.
Uh-huh.
When we talk about e-portfolio, sometimes we need to mention about our EPPP marks. Is it right? It's also like general statement related to EPPP marks. Is it right?
Yeah, in the system, yes. In the system, I noticed that there are subsection where we need to upload the EPPP marks and feedbacks from student, correct?
Okay. Is it will effects to the result
Oh.
if we get only P1 and P2, for example?
I have no idea, to be honest. I have no idea. But in our teaching portfolio, yeah, we included that here under item 7, the ratings and evaluations. So
Okay.
yeah, but I think we should be honest about it. Even though we got P1 or P2, maybe we can use that space to reflect on ourselves. I don't know. Because I think in any kind of application, it's best to be honest, even though it doesn't look good, but take that as a chance to reflect why it happened and how we should go from there. Yeah.
So what do you think? We need to apply. We can apply, or we have to wait until we get a good mark for.
I think we should
Okay.
just go ahead. Just go ahead. Do not make that thing hinder you from proceeding with the application. It's okay lah.
Yes, because why? Because why? I think EPPPP sometimes I think previously they tried to change it, but until now they still not change it because when we refer to the comments of the students, it's still okay, it's still good, but in terms of the EPP marks, it's not good. That's
Yeah, it
happened,
doesn't
right?
reflect. The
Sometimes it
mapping was
happens.
not, yeah, I totally can relate to that.
Yeah, but I think it is very subjective. I
Yeah.
don't think the management will use it as a criteria to assess you 100%
I hope
based on
so.
that. Yeah,
That's
so
totally
it should
Hope
be
true.
so.
okay.
I think they just want to see whether we teach or not. We will do
Exactly,
teach.
exactly.
But
Okay.
yeah, don't make hinder make treat this as things that hinder you from proceeding with your application. Just go ahead, Dr. Din. It's fine. Okay, but in our teaching portfolio, it should be something that we discuss you know, how we are perceived by our students. Yeah. So yeah, so I put this question mark. So hopefully Dr. Rin and all other RG leaders can find out further. Yeah. Okay. So let's proceed with the last not so obvious item. Okay. The last bit is we have to write a personal statement. Okay. So basically this is about ourselves. Okay. Um, the guidance that given to us was half a page write up. In my case, it was more. Okay, I have when Dr. Anna said half a page, and then I look into mine. Oh, I wrote more than one page. So it's really up to you. Okay, but we shared some points in terms of what to write in our personal statement. So you can reflect on your current posts. Okay, when if you are holding one, if not, just simply describe on what you are doing right now, academic achievement, your working experience, and that's why if you haven't got any industrial attachment, it's important to go because we can reflect on our working experience, especially when it's relatable to our domain. Your experience while you are with UTM, whether you've been, I'm sure because we can never run away from being assigned to do stuff, right? So take that as an opportunity and just simply digest and reflect your experience while holding that role. And then some research and interest achievement that you may want to write up, okay, in your personal statement. So just now myself and Dr. Anna, we were chatting about this bit on personal statement. Is we the way that we see it is it's not really that they will penalize or measure uh, what we wrote in the statement, but pretty much they want to see how we describe ourselves through words or with words. So it's really, I think this is the space where you can be yourself by writing down what you think about yourself, how you see yourself. Um, so yeah, so this is, I think, the space where you can be truly honest, you know, using the right word, using the words that you think is right to describe and portray your skills, abilities, basically your true self. So yeah, Dana, anything you want to add for this one?
Okay, so this is basically the part that I felt that quite difficult for me to write about myself.
That is so true.
We want to put ourselves in the basket, you know, and we just leave that basket, you know, basically. So I had difficult time. So that's why I ended up writing what I'm doing now. Basically, at the moment when I applied, I was the RG head. So I begin with, okay, I'm currently RG head, and then a little bit of the background of my academic achievement, and then my working experience. This is where I position my working experience with my domain that currently I'm doing. Okay, and then after that, throughout the history, because I've been working here for more than 20 years, so there is a paragraph that I talk about my experience when I was with UTM, okay, as a program coordinator perhaps, after that the RG head, and so on. And then finally, I close it with my research interest and what I have achieved. Okay, so it's very brief because I had difficulty, okay, writing about myself. So it's just, I think, half a page.
You are totally right, Dr. Anna. I think because culturally as well, we don't tend to speak about ourselves a lot. So I myself actually at that time wasn't too sure what to write, but based on the points given, I just simply say, I just go for it, you know.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think this is the last bit of the 6 points of the not so obvious things that we have to complete in order to apply for the promotion. So it's quite a lot, isn't it? So our advice is basically, you know, start working on it, start working on the CV, be prepared in terms of the criteria that you think that haven't been fulfilled, and some conditions. Remember the first obvious point, there are some conditions where it can be made equivalence, stuff like that. So do find out, okay, from your RG head or from the office. Okay. So what's next? Okay, so let's assume that you now have fulfilled everything, okay, and you have actually submitted the application through the system. Okay, so what happens next? From both of our experience, right after you do that, okay, please liaise closely with the penolong pendaftar or as the assistant registrar, okay, because we do not want our application to get lost somewhere, okay. So right after you click on the submission button, basically follow up with the assistant registrar, because they will provide us with a very simple form known as Maklumat Ringkas Calon, or MRC. I think in English is Candidate Brief Information. Okay, a very simple form that we need to sign and fill up. Okay, this form basically will trigger the process of finding external reviewers. So when we want to be promoted, remember one of the keyword that one of you shared in the Menti Cloud work just now was recognition, right? So the purpose of getting the external reviewers is for them, by looking through our CVs, our performance, whether they would recognize what we have done so far. So the office will usually ask us to name 5 potential reviewers, because in the process to go to the next level is to have at least 3 positive reviews from the 5 external reviewers. Okay. But mind you, the external reviewers that will be given by the office is very limited, because the condition of to become or listed as external reviewers is they have to come from RU, Research University in Malaysia. Okay, and when they have made that as a rule, and then basically it translated into the people who actually in our domain may not be there. So we have to be prepared in terms of nominating names that could be in computer science but may not be actually in our field. Yeah. So that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Dr. Anna, yeah, Dr. Anna.
Dr. Shita and Dr. Anna, so the reviewers, actually we can propose international reviewers, right? So how in terms of numbers, so we can also appoint reviewers from international and also local. Is it right?
Oh, to be honest, I have no answer for that,
Okay.
because we were given a list, and we have to choose from the list given.
5, right? 5, okay.
But the office says, if you would like to propose a new reviewer which are not from the list,
Okay.
we need to provide the CV to the office. The office will, I don't know what happened behind the scene. They cannot simply add on. They need to go through some kind of, I don't know, that they have their own review among, I don't know what happened. And then they will come back to us whether the person is added or not. So yeah.
So there's no specific numbers in terms of in terms of international or local reviewers. Is it right, Dr. Shita?
I cannot. I don't know.
Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure too, but I just want to add a little bit, like what Dr. Masitah has said. They are from RU universities, but those who graduated from RU, but they must be professor. They cannot be associate professor. Okay, so these professors either they come from RU or they graduated from RU, they can be in the list. But the list, as Dr. Masitah said, it has been provided by the school. Okay, and I'm not sure how to add, the new reviewer to the list. But then we were asked to select 5. Okay, in my case, the AC RAS at that time was Prof. Kamarul. He called me, and then together we go through the list. And at the moment, during that time, there were 2 candidates, me and another one. So he advised me not to pick the same person. Okay, the reason why, because we don't want to, because perhaps the person needs extra time to go through, because there were 2 applications. So we decided to pick, different persons. Okay, and usually ACRAS, or at that time Deputy Dean of Research and Innovation, he normally will advise us, because from his experience, perhaps there were previous applications. Some people, they're very strict. Some people in the list, they're very strict. So he will give us advice, for example, okay, this person a bit friendly, perhaps we should pick him, and he normally respond quite fast compared to some, and so on. So you will be sitting down with your ACRAS and go through the list and pick them.
Yeah.
Basically, that was the process.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I also would like to add, because I happen to know someone who would like to nominate a new professor from RU University, but the person is not yet in the list. So the person need to provide the latest CV of the said potential reviewer and submit it to the office. So as I mentioned, it is possible to add a new name, but I don't know how long it will take, and I don't know the guarantee of the person to be added in the list. So yeah, so but if you happen to want to go down on that route or path, maybe you can find out from the office. Yeah. But the bottom line is it can be done, but I just don't know the detail. Yeah. Okay. So yes, because the next phase is basically getting reviews from external reviewers. While this happen, okay, please follow up the status with the HR office from time to time. Okay, especially with our assistant registrar, because at our time, we couldn't track the progress of our application in the system at all. We have to do it manually. Okay. It happened to me, I don't know with Dr. Anna, but it happened to me where I thought when I submitted, everything will be fine, right? Because I already done my job, right? So it's no longer, I don't have to be in the process of what's happening next. But what happened was, I don't know how many months, but after that many months, I checked with the office. I don't know, I'm not blaming anyone, but it was not going anywhere yet. Okay, so at that time, I was like quite frustrated, but the lesson learned here is always follow up. Okay, to know, at least by following up, the process is much faster. Okay, you can expedite the process. So I don't know about now whether the system that we are seeing in the beginning on the DCP, whether we can follow up the progress, because I haven't applied anything through the new system, so I don't know. So I think Dr. Anna was, you were in the same boat as me, right, Dr. Anna?
Exactly. It was delayed. I mean, I thought by pushing the button, because it's already green, so by pushing the button, I thought everything will be automated and I will be notified. But then I had been waiting for 5 to 7 months, nothing happened. Okay, again, I cannot blame anyone. It could be the system. And at that time, it was a transition from being a faculty to being a school. So perhaps because of that transition, so after that, after 7 months, then I follow up, and then I found out that my application was sitting idle in the system. Okay, so again, it's very important, like Dr. Masitah said, you have to follow up with the assistant registrar. Okay, do not assume. You can never assume.
Don't make the same mistake that we did.
Exactly, yeah, because perhaps the process will be shortened because of your responsiveness. Okay, in our
Yeah.
case, we didn't know. We thought everything was okay, but the
Yeah.
process in my case, it took me 1 year plus from the application to the actual interview.
Yes.
It was a long process.
It's
Yep.
very long. It's the same with me actually, very long. And that's why we said in the beginning, the process will be, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a smooth sailing one. So you have to prepare and be brave. And I don't know. In this case, I think you need to be proactive. Once you submit it, you need to always follow up and check. I know you maybe the office staff will see, oh, it's him again, it's her again, but something need to be done, right? Otherwise, it will take long. Yeah. So yeah, but for those who are applying using the new system, maybe you can share your own experience later, whether the new system can actually trace the progress of our application. So I don't know about this. Yeah. Okay.
I have question.
Sure. Go ahead, Dr. Surah.
Currently, which assistant registrar should we deal with or follow up with regarding this application of this DS34?
Okay.
Thank
At
you.
my time, it was Fatihah. It was Fatihah, correct. And
I
then
think still the same person, right? I think still the same person.
I think so. I think so. But at some point they asked me to
Fatihah is the clerk.
okay, but sometimes they ask me to connect with Nurin. Last time it was Nurin. So I think now Nurin is replaced by
Ashakirin.
Ashakirin. So I think the best person is Ashakirin, and normally Ashakirin will if something need to be done quickly, then she will pass us to either Fatihah or Ain, if not mistaken. Yeah. So I think assistant registrar is now is Mrs. Nur what's the name again?
Ashakirin.
Ashakirin, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ashakirin.
Ashakirin.
Yeah, during my time last time, during my time it was Nurin. I think because
Same,
Ashakirin replacing Nurin, so I think most probably Ashakirin.
yeah. So in our case, for School of Computing, is Ashakirin. Yep.
Okay. Dr. Zura, any other questions?
Boleh tanya?
Boleh.
That personal statement kan?
Yeah.
Personal statement. Must it be written in English? Can it be written in Malay language?
I don't know. I just go with my assumption to write in English. I don't know. It's a very valid question, Dr. Zura. So maybe Dr. Rin boleh bantu.
Actually, there's no problem in writing in English, but writing in Malay it's more challenging.
The feel, is it
Yes,
right?
more challenging. But then if you can write in Malay, beautifully,
Yeah.
you
I know.
expressing yourself.
Yeah,
Right. Thank
correct.
you.
Yeah.
I think there is no rules in our guidelines mention that we need to write in English. I don't think so. Language is English is the first language that we need to use. I think so. So if they not state any guideline mention that we have to write in English, I think you can write in Malay, Dr. Zura. I think so. There is no strictly mentioned about the language. Is it right? I think so, Dr. Anna and
Okay.
Dr. Shita. I think so.
Yeah,
Maybe we
because
can find out later.
I'm not sure, but most of the samples that I see, they are written in English. I think that's why we decided to write in English.
That's
But
right.
again, I'm not sure about the requirement.
Maybe we can also check with the assistant registrar as well. Yeah. Okay. So I
Okay,
shall.
Dr. Shita,
Yeah.
there is another things about this is related to the specific things. one of the important sections for apply AP is publication. Is it right?
Yes,
Especially for index and also ISI journals. Okay,
correct.
could you tell us how many index journals, IDIS corpus or ISI journals we should achieve before we apply for AP?
Here.
Is it the correct numbers of it?
Yes, so basically you have to have 15 and
15.
then
Okay.
in the bracket there is 5, right? So
Uh-huh.
it says here the total that you need to minimum to achieve of index journal is 15 and you have
Okay.
to have at least 5 ISI. Yeah, 5.
Between 15 or 5 is another, i- 15 plus 5?
I forgot. I also had this difficulty last time and I got frustrated. I
Yes.
forgot.
It's not
But
clear.
Tata, can you
Not clear.
recall? 5
Mhm.
from 15 or 5 on top of 15?
Yes, yes,
Five,
yes.
5 from 15.
Yeah,
5
5
from
from 15.
15. Okay.
Mm.
I
So
So
have
you
meaning,
have a minimum 15
uh-huh,
index and make sure from that 15 index you have 5 ISI journal.
okay. So when we talk about ISI journals, so meaning that ISI journals is also Scopus journals, but in Scopus journals, sometimes it's not included in ISI journal. Is it right, Dr. Sita and Dr. Anna?
Yeah, sometimes it's like that. So that is not counted. You have to make sure that the journal is indexed in ISI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when we talk about index, it's referred to both journals, right? Either ISI or
Yes,
Scopus
yeah,
index.
you are
Scopus
right.
journals.
All right. So when we say index, it can be Scopus index or SI index. So both are index. So we can combine this as index journal. So make sure you have 15, but within that 15, 5 must be indexed in ISI.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have question.
Okay, Dr. Chura.
Okay.
Dr.
Good.
Anna and Dr. Masitah, can you share with us the interview session? Who's the
Sure, we are going to that
uh,
slide now.
That's the
okay.
question because that also my question. It's okay. So you can answer it.
Okay, so
Right, Dr. Anna.
shall we move along? Yeah. Okay, so we shall move along to the next phase. So basically, once we get at least 3 positive reviews, we will be receive a notification letter, okay, about our interview date. So now, before we do that, this is the thing that both myself and Dr. Anna would like to highlight. You know, the process just now as you listen months, sometimes it takes years. Okay, so there were hiccups somewhere, somehow. Okay, along the way. Not despair. I know, at least in my case, in that I felt down sometimes. You know, when stuff didn't go as expected. But keep it going and get help. Okay, so I think within our small group community at School of Computing, we know one another. So seek help and just get support, okay, from one another. Okay, so now move on to interview. Okay, right. So by the time that you receive a letter saying that your application now is, you know, being processed, and then next phase is the interview, you'll be given a date. Okay. So what need to be done? So before your interview day, okay, both Dr. Anna and I, we both have a similar advices. Okay, so we need to read anything about UTM initiatives, okay, on research and TNL. So I think as of late, among the popular ones were on Aim4Star, because that was the latest initiative by UTM, and Vision 2025, ISES. So we need to read up everything, okay, about what UTM is currently doing, okay, for the betterment of the university. Okay, so because when we are applying for a promotion, basically we are climbing up our career ladder, and we are actually now deep in the UTM family. Okay, so we should know what the university is currently doing. So that is why we have to read up a lot. Try to understand, at least get our head, in terms of the initiatives, and just get better understanding why they do this, why they do that, And then number 2 is know the who's who, or the who are who or the who's who in the UTM management. So for instance, of course, we know our VC, our deputy VC, and so on, but we also have to learn about the board of directors that UTM currently have, who they are, what are the background, for instance. Yeah, so I think this is among the 2 most important point that we need to prepare ourselves before we go into the interview. I think the rest are pretty much about the stuff that we already seen just now, the 7 P's. So I think that stuff, that 7 P's are already, we know that on top of our head, right? So there's no problem. But when it comes to the additional information, so these 2 are the must. Okay. And then now during the day of your interview, okay, I think as you enter the interview room, be prepared. Of course, you will be given questions, right? Because you're in the interview room. So if I can share, the room will be at the registrar building. Okay, you will be sitting alone, okay, facing a large table with few important people. Okay, you will be seeing VC, maybe the registrar, and some of the professors there. So you'll be asking quite a lot of questions actually, not just about what you do, what you have done. It's also about your opinion, how you see things, what you think about, what UTM is currently doing, maybe the philosophy, maybe the direction, maybe the initiative. So both Dr. Anna and I felt that it's very important to be critical when answering all these questions. So try to speak your mind, because we have our own opinion, isn't it? So speak your mind, give your opinion, share why you believe in what you believe, and because there's no right or wrong answer. So yeah, Dana, anything you would like to add?
Okay, my experience during the interview, of course, we have a large panel, okay, in front of us, and we will be sitting about more than 5 meters from them. It's very far, so you have to speak out loud.
6 people? Is it 6 people or more?
No, more than that, more than that.
Oh, more than that. Wow.
I think maybe 10 or maybe...
No. Mine was maybe 6.
Oh, mine there are many.
Really? Okay.
Exactly, there are many of them. Yeah, in my case. Yeah, so for example, the first question, it was Prof. Fauzi. At that time was the NCP, right? Yeah. So he was the one who greeted, okay, and then he asked basic questions, not really basic. For example, what do you think if you are the admin, like for example, in his position, how can you encourage the staff, okay, to produce, to do more research, to publish? So you have to give your opinion. Basically, that is the opinion. And then the question from Prof. Rosli is hypothetical question. For example, if you are put in this situation, what would you do? So I think we discussed earlier with Dr. Masitah. So this kind of thing, this kind of questions is actually, they want you to see how critical you are when answering the question. So another question was from Prof. Safian at that time. So normally they put Professor B as a panel. Okay, so Prof. Safian asking, give me one initiative. He didn't tell me what is that initiative, but he described to me. So he asked me what initiative it is. Okay, so I was like, because you read a lot, it's like matching which initiative is good. Okay, so I'm not, but we managed to answer that question. I mean, I managed to answer that question. So eventually, they asked me, is there anything else that I would like to say to them? Or is there any advice that I want to give to UTM? So I said, yeah, I have an advice. Okay, so that's when, you know, you give your, whatever you want to say about UTM, how can you improve? Okay, for example, in my case, I told them that, okay, I think because we from School of Computing, uh, when we talk about employability, perhaps we do not get our students 100% employability. I mean, our employability rate is not 100%. So perhaps this is due to the practical, or the experience doing the practical things. So I was giving them an analogy, for example, UKM, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, they have the medical school, right? So whereby the students were exposed to the hospital. They go to the hospital and do the practical, even though they were in third year, fourth year. So they are exposed to the real experience. So I was using this analogy and put into our scenario. In our case, our UTM Digital is like an hospital to us, okay, because they are the first, I mean, they have a lot of systems, they have networks, they have everything that we have, our program cater for. So I was telling them that perhaps in our case, UTM Digital is the hospital to us, and we are the medical students. Okay, so we should get our students engaged to UTM Digital and see the real things. So that discussion was like quite, I mean, catch their attention, and they start, okay, perhaps this is a good idea. So what do you think? Blah blah blah. So it was like a very friendly and warm discussion after that. Okay, so I think you be prepared. At least you have one idea that you think it will benefit UTM by implementing your idea. Yeah. So again, I'm not sure about Dr. Masitah, but
I just remembered something because one of the panel at that time was Prof. Fauzi, by our VC now, but if you know him, he can be um witty when it comes to giving questions. I think in that room last time, he was playing devil advocate. So you tend to receive quite the kind of questions where is it okay if I answer it this way? You started to unsure, you feel unsure or doubted yourself. But yeah, I think just go for it. What you think was right at that time, just speak your mind. Because I just want to see whether we can handle that situation. Even though they will come back to us and say, well, what if you say like this will happen. Da, 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 da. So just go with the flow, and I'm sure you will do okay. Yeah. Okay. Any questions regarding the interview session? If no, maybe we can proceed.
Then you can proceed, Masitah. You can proceed.
All right, thank you. So I hope this
Okay.
answer, Dr. Dr. Liza, please don't be discouraged. You may start now. Okay. Okay. All right. So I hope this answer Dr. Zura's question just now. So what's next? So next is what comes next? So patiently await for the verdict. Okay, right after the interview, patiently await for the verdict. If you pass, congratulations. Okay, you'll be I think your name will be announced in our WhatsApp group. Okay, and you will be celebrated by your loved ones, obviously. But if you didn't, okay, because outcome from the interview can go both ways, right? If you didn't, okay, actually, you can always reapply, okay, because there are cases where it didn't succeed in the first time, and then we need to reapply. So there is always a way to do this. So reapply. So basically, we are repeating not the whole process once again. No, Okay, the reapplication is a bit simpler, where once we know that we didn't pass, try to speak or work closely with the chair or the dean, you know, to get them their support. Okay, try to submit a letter saying that since the interview date, the applicant has achieved this much achievement, have done this, and would like to seek for another round of AP application, and asking, I think I'm not sure, the JPU or the Senate to reconsider for interview session. So so actually there is a room, okay, to go for another round. And when that happened, okay, you'll be called for another interview session, and then see how it goes from there. So usually, second round or third round, okay, you will pass the interview session. So it depends. It's not the same for everyone. Everyone has their own story. So what I'm saying here is, even though you didn't get it the first time, I know it will be a very sad phase, but once you get over that phase, pick yourself up again, okay, and reapply. Okay, don't lose hope. Okay, I think that's the most important thing that I would like to remind. Yeah. Okay. I think that's from me. Dr. Anna, anything?
I think basically we have covered everything. Just one little thing. We have seen the criteria. If I were to give an advice, try to get more than what is required. For example, if they ask for 15 papers, if you have 20, that will be good. Okay, so you will be more comfortable. Okay, yeah. So that's all. Try to give more than what is required.
True, true. Yep. So I think we have come to our last slide. Okay. Effort. Okay. Whatever it is, we have to work for it, put some effort, and then everything we just leave it to God. Wow. Just need to tawakal, because He knows what's best for us. From time and time, throughout the journey, at least in my case, people keep saying, "Oh, it's okay. Your time will come." I know that will happen, but when you are in that, you know, at that time, at that phase, you felt uneasy, right? So I think just be patient, and just try to go through the days with an open mind and open heart. Right? I think that's how I would like to wrap up and reflect my personal journey. Okay, so over to you, Dr. Anna, before we pass to Dr. Rin.
Okay, yeah, same thing, effort and tawakal. But if, for example, like Dr. Masitah said, there are many hiccups, right? So when you face with the hiccups, you just have good intention. There must be something, work for it and don't give up. Okay, don't be like me, because I easily give up during the process. But I had these people who really support me. So you need to have your own circle as well. In my case, I had a mentor. Prof. Zainal was my mentor. So from the beginning, in fact, even though I didn't have any intention to apply for the AP, but then he was the one who pushed. So I think you have to find a circle that keep you motivated, and then when I felt that I'm not at par with, if I were to apply, I don't think I'm critical as other APs or professor. And he was the one who assured me that, okay, what you are doing is already the AP work. So he was the one who always give me the positive support, really support me all throughout the period. So again, I think if you are like me, you need to find people who will give you support, whether it's your friend, your mentor, or perhaps whoever, okay, that can assure all the doubts that you have, that you are not the person that you think you are. Okay, so yeah, with that, I think that's all from me.
Okay, Dr. Shita and Dr. Anna. All right, thank you so much for your explanations. And I think this is the last question as a conclusions from this session, right? As a Muslim or Muslimah, how to ensure we have the right niyat for this appointment and gain amanah and barakah is what you mentioned in your slide before. As a conclusion, Dr. Ana and also Dr. Shita.
I'll let Dr. Ana speak first.
Okay, again, as what we have said earlier, I mean, we discussed with me and Dr. Masitah discussed, we are not the best person who can give this particular advice because I myself is not a good person. But I always think that whatever that we do, we have to do with our patient, okay? So, and also the amanah that are given to us, we have to do it. And every sense that we gain, again, is actually the responsibility. There is an added responsibility to it. So be prepared, like we said before, when you apply for AP, you know that the responsibility will be bigger than what you have currently. Okay, so make sure that you are ready. And then when the time comes, for example, in my case, sometimes I sort of regret the fact that I applied for AP because the job, I mean, the task is quite, because currently, like in my case, I've been approached by MOSTI, I've been approached by many government agencies to sit in the panel, you know, and then I receive quite many theses to read. And on top of that, you have many students of your own to read their theses. At the same time, you have to be the examiners. So sometimes I feel like it was a wrong decision for me to apply for AP. But again, that was all the negative thoughts, you know, shaitan will always come and, you know, try to, you know, put all these thoughts in your mind. But again, okay, you have to remember, back in my case, I told myself it was you who applied. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't your dean that make you an AP. It was you. So you have to go back to your intention where you applied before, and you have to do all this. You know, you have to divide your time accordingly, and you know, try your best to do to do the responsibility given to you. Yeah, that's all from me.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Anna and Dr. Shita, for your sharing today's sessions. Okay, we are very lucky today, and we have both of you, because I think it's not easy to get both of you, right? Because I think Dr. Shita and also Dr. Anna are very busy, right, with the works, right? Okay. Is there any other question? Last questions from the floor, from others? Any questions? Right. Okay, if there is no questions.
Rin, just one more thing. I just remember why I think everyone should apply for AP. Another thing is that when you are AP, there are certain grants, for example, that are open only for AP and also professor.
Oh, yes. Is it grant? Is it what is it? What is the grant's name? Tana?
I think one example is the UTM iconic grant.
Yes, iconic. Yes.
Yeah, in fact, the TDR as well. The TDR stands for transdisciplinary grant. Okay, they require AP and above.
Yes.
And then I think few others as well. So go for it, because the opportunities are so big. You know, it's all open for you.
Yes, as this is what I know before. If we are getting AP, so there is a lot of the most important part is networking. In terms of networking, we should have more networking. If we more networking to the outside, from outside. Is it right, Dr. Ana and Dr. Shita? So we have to collaborate with others, not only in UTM, but also from other universities, either local or international universities. Is it right?
I'm not too sure about that because I think even though you don't have an associate professor, you still need to do that, isn't it? I'm not too sure
Okay.
about that condition.
Okay, so meaning that we still can apply because we already we did it before, right? In DS52 we also need to do networking, but not too much. But when we apply for AP and then we got it, so we have to maintain our networking. Is it the best
Yes.
is it the best practice?
I think this goes back to the table that I shown you.
Yes.
The first goalpost, right?
Mhm.
So if you can maintain, that would be nice. But actually, if you look into every single criteria from that portion of consultation, networking, industrial, etc., you can actually fulfill not every single one. You can actually choose which one you have achieved. So not too much pressure there. But if you have that kind of connections, collaborations, yeah, just maintain it because it would be an advantage for you, especially when applying for grants. You know, they want to see our connections with people outside UTM.
Yes. All right. Okay. I think we have running out of time. So I would like to thank Dr. Anna and also Tashita for this sharing session, right? Thank you so much for your willingness, all right, to share. Okay. And then before we end, I think we have to end this session. Before we end, we will have I would like to ask all of you to on your video, and then we take a picture. Okay, is it okay?
Sure. So
Okay.
hopefully by next year we can see a lot more associate professor from School of Computing.
Inshallah,
I
inshallah.
can see potential. There are many potential already in the audience.
Exactly.
Okay, so could you on your video please for a while, and then we end up this session.
I think it's just three of us.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Zura, thank you so much. Dr. Farhan,
Ada.
Dr. Hussein, Dr. Rafat,
لا خليك معي.
Dr. Arafat, you are in your office?
Dila, Laila, Dr. Laila, Dr. Dila, Dr. Ariati, Dr. Bandir, Kak Shida, who else? Zatul Alwani, Dr. Rohaida, Ala Segan.
Hello.
Okay, right. Thank you so much. Okay, wait. Okay, I take a picture. Right.
Yeah, hey.
Okay. Okay. So, right. Thank you so much, everyone. All right. We end. Okay. So we end our session today with Suratul As and Tasbih Kifara. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So
Everyone.
okay,
So next
see
year
you
after
there.
in
See you
April.
later, right? Thank you so much, Tashita and Tana.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Dr. Anna, Dr. Shita, thank you very much.
Good luck Kak Zura.
Okay, all the best everyone.
Farhan pun dah due tu.
Ramai dekat sini ni.
Okay.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Right.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Assalam.